guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We are here at the 2024 SEMA show in Las Vegas, and of course, being at the GR booth within the Toyota section, they have something very special I want to show you. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2025 Toyota GR86, but I promise you, by the end of this review, this is no GR86 that you've seen before it. But before we get into this rally-inspired, rally heritage GR86, let's talk about what's going on here. So Toyota working with Subaru, kind of interesting that both brands, Subaru and Toyota, have had a lot of history in the World Rally Championship. Now, of course, Subaru with its flat four and the BRZ, and then you have Toyota with the GR86, bringing that pure form of rear-wheel drive sports car experience. This car, though, brings it to an all-new level. And could this quite very well be the direction, a little bit of the future for the GR86 with this WRC tribute? But why don't we go ahead, let's dive in and find out, is this the GR86 with the turbocharged engine that you've been waiting for? Let's go ahead, let's dive in and find out. Right off the bat, you look at the livery of this car. The green, the red, the white. This signifies the sponsorship of Castrol Oils. During the late 80s into the early 90s, Toyota had a full WRC program. One of their drivers was Carlos Sainz, and they were racing not a GR86, they had the Toyota Celica, the one that had the turbocharged power and the all-wheel drive. That is where the inspiration for this car is from, and that's why you see this color combination. Now, at the front of the business, what's amazing is that you have all stock GR86 front fascias. So you're gonna have those aggressive, large air curtains, the flat black, the Castrol colors, and I really love the way they really went all in and did the pearlescent white paint, just like the original Celica GT4 race cars, the rally cars. And remember, Carlos Sainz won a World Rally Championship for Toyota with that Celica. Now, as we come across the front, obviously an addition, an add-on that's been placed on this is you're gonna have your quad driving light setup. These aren't fog lights, these are driving lights. Of course, in the World Rally Championship, they run it during the day, they run it at night, and you need to have that superior lighting, obviously, to make sure you're hitting your marks and make sure that your co-driver is on point with his driver notes to keep you in check. On the lower portion, you have a full stock lower grille area, fully functional. You're gonna notice the heat exchangers from behind, especially when we look at what is powering this GR86. And when we talk about GR, we're talking about Gazoo Racing. They handle all the motorsports for Toyota, and that's where it prominently, proudly displays that badge. Now, as we rise up, you're gonna notice that there's no hood on this. There is a hood, and it looks really spectacular. One of the reasons why we have the hood off is for this right here. I never thought I would see the day of a current gen GR86 with not the flat four from Subaru, but this is the inline three, the turbocharged 3-cylinder from the mighty GR Corolla. So you're looking at 300 horsepower. You're looking at, of course, manual transmission. And what's also unbelievable is that you have the all-wheel drive. Now remember, when it comes to that flat four, the flat four sits very low in the chassis, and that's where that hood, the stock hood, would not be able to close with this particular engine. So they actually have fabricated a stock hood to allow this GR Corolla engine to fit. Now I'm gonna have Steven kind of swing around and show you how they have it in the engine cradle here. It's unbelievable the work they did to get this power plant to fit in this GR86. And I couldn't even imagine right now what the on-throttle experience would be like with 300 horsepower in such a small car, in such a light car, but with all-wheel drive keeping you planted. Now, as we kind of swing it around, you could see how we're have our adjustable coilovers. So it's all, this thing has been tweaked from stem to stern, not just the power plant, the suspension, the brakes. You can see we have our adjustable camber plates. Remember, when you're looking at a race car, no matter if you are on a road course or a rally course, you want to adjust, be able to adjust the pitch of the wheels and tires, just that camber and caster, to give you more angle or less angle, depending on what the road is doing underneath you. Now, as we drop down, absolutely spectacular with the Speedline wheels. These are basically replicas of what was on Carlos Sainz's Celica back from the 90s. You got the GR badge on your big, large calipers. And then we also have the two-piece rotors off of the GR Corolla. So like I said, taking that all-wheel drive system, taking the braking capability and the suspension. And remember, one of those special touches that kind of separates it from the current Subaru WRX is that with the all-wheel drive system, you have that torque split. You could do street setup, which is going to be that 60-40. Then, of course, you could go 30-70, 30% of the power to the front wheels, 70% of the power to the rear wheels, or you could do 50-50 split. That's that special technology that's been developed over the years. But if you're wondering what's the size of the wheel, 18-inch wheel, so you're looking at a stock size wheel, but boy, those Speedlines look absolutely spectacular. Now, coming down the side, I'm gonna have Steven swing it around, show you the functional venting. That is a stock factory piece. You gotta have the mud flaps, really gives it that extra touch, that rally car touch. Plus, of course, on a lot of gravel roads, you don't wanna beat this beautiful paint job to hell, because that is what would happen. Now, working our way down the side, we do have these custom carbon fiber mirrors. These are meant to be those duplicates of what you would find on a rally car. We have our plexiglass side window. The reason why this window is especially here is because usually when you get to your checkpoint, you have to hand paperwork to the people working the checkpoint, and that's where your navigator would be sitting to handle that paperwork. They went ahead and went metallic black on your door handles. And then one of the things I think that just fits the GR86 to a T is how they do that lower side skirt extension, how it goes down and then it tapers towards the rear. Love all of the badging, of course. And then as we come around the back, taking that heritage from the mighty Celica GR4, you have, of course, that same large wing. So a lot of people think that this wing debuted on the Supra. It actually did not, the Mark IV Supra. It actually was on the Celica GR4, which, like I said, was that all-wheel drive. They had to make a certain amount of them because it was a homologation model. And here in the United States, we got the Celica All-Track, sort of a watered-down version. In Japan, they got the real deal homologation version, sort of like the Yaris. The GR Yaris is a homologation vehicle. They have to make a certain amount of those, whereas the GR Corolla takes that magic of the Yaris, but it's not there for homologation reasons, if that makes sense. Now, at the tail end of the business, you'll notice that you have your full LED stock lighting, which I like to see. Of course, that Toyota badge, the GR86 badge. And then another thing that just makes my heart pitter-patter is you have this custom Greddy exhaust that actually exit through the bumper where you would have your license plate. Just showing that unique touch. And like I said, really focusing on the past and blending it in with the present. But why don't we go ahead, let's check out the interior and see what the masterminds at Toyota brought to SEMA. All right, guys, we are inside this special SEMA build. So lucky to not only be here at SEMA, but to be here with Toyota in such a special vehicle. Now, automatically, you know how I feel about the GR86, especially that new Hakone edition, but this thing is on another level. I can't even imagine the cost to build this, but I am gonna guesstimate, because that's what I love to do. You gotta give it your best guess. I'm gonna say to build this car from stem to stern, right around $250,000. And you'll see why. To the door panels, full race prep carbon fiber door panel, nothing else needed. You have your tether to open up the door. And then going from the door to the dash, you'll notice the full race cage stiffens up the whole chassis, plus it protects the passenger and the driver. Full stock dash. Loving that with the AC vents. Come on in. This is what it's like when you're behind the wheel of a rally car. You got your switch gear for your fuel pump, your different drive modes, the start-stop button, and then of course we have this amazing gearbox selector right here. Love the way it shows all the rods and everything, and this is a 6-speed manual transmission. This is not a dual clutch transmission or something like that. This is a 6-speed manual, and this is like something you would see in the Louvre. I could see this hanging on the wall in a museum or hanging on the wall in my house. Now, of course, we got a good old-fashioned mechanical e-brake with the stock leather and the stitching, and then the seats. Full Sparco seats. I know a lot of people know Recaro, but Sparco is a very famous, popular brand when it comes to safety. Full carbon fiber buckets, and of course, you got to have your in-car fire extinguisher. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel in this GR86. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. Like I said, the frame with the roll bar all built in. Down below, you got that pedal box, triple pedal with your clutch, your brake, and your throttle. And you'll notice that's a stock throttle pedal, and you could do your heel-toe downshifting. If you're wondering what is this red knob here, this is the cutoff. This is for the battery kill switch. So you just cut that to cut power to the battery so you don't have a fire. And then remember, I'm 6 feet tall. Look at how low I'm sitting in the car. So this thing is bolted to the floor to bring the center of gravity lower. And this is normally where the driver, in a normal GR86, you'd be up like this, but in here, you are down low. I could barely see over the hood. Steering wheel, Sparco with your Alcantara. You have all of your adjustments for your different modes. You got your shift light, carbon fiber on the back. And then of course, you have that digital, that Motec digital gauge cluster. Even the stock trip reset for your trip odometer. Crazy. But I am just, I don't know, this is like one of those situations where you're a kid and you've always dreamed about sitting in something like this, and here I am sitting in it. I don't want to get out, but we got to wrap it up here from SEMA, so let's get to this special GR86 and wrap it up. All right, guys, one hell of a crazy time here at SEMA, especially at the Toyota booth. Definitely want to thank the whole Toyota USA team for having us out to be able to showcase what is possible and what is on their mind. But let me know what you think. Is it gonna be the next gen of the GR86? Will it have a GR Corolla engine in it, especially after seeing this? And is it quite possible that maybe one day we might not only have a turbocharged GR86, but an all-wheel drive version? That'll be interesting to see. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rise family. I get up to Stephen Flood, man. He's sweating, he's working hard out here, so show him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.